right, guys, thank you so much for listening in to Stumblin Forward. One of your hosts right here. I'm Kristen Herman.
And I'm Monica Ortega.
All right. And today we're actually speaking to one of my good friends, Bryan Chesters. Bryan grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois. He has performed on stage and screen in Chicago, New York City, and Los Angeles. He received both his BA for music and MFA in theater from UCLA. He has taught acting at UCLA, YPS Studio, LA School of the Arts, Arts Camp, and LAUSD. You may recognize him from the popular shows like Mad Men and Modern Family. He recently resides in Los Angeles, where he owns a successful DJ MC company, Let's Party LA. How are you doing today, Bryan?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Oh, doing good.
Good.
Kristen gave you a great intro. Do you want to fill us in on a little bit more about yourself and what you do and all that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the only thing she didn't mention, because I probably haven't talked to her at length about this, is the last 5 years, and especially during our lockdown, I've really been focusing on my screenwriting. So I have 6 features I've written. I joined, and I have 4 pilots. I looked over here because I don't know if you can see this, but I have them all in like.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not surprised, Bryan. You're just always organized and like, a go-getter. I didn't know that you had 6 features that you've written, though. 6 features?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they're all different. I mean, you know about the Hunter Grail project because you helped us when we were.
I was a PA once.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah. So that one, I've been working on that since, we were filming that teaser 4 years ago, and we're still in development, but it's finally moving ahead. Like, we attached some actors. We have Dee Wallace Stone she was the mom in E.T. and she was in Cujo and The Howling. So she's going to be playing Aunt Helen. We have 2 big actor names that we're looking at right now, and we just signed on an EP who my friend Gabrielle, who's has a great track record of attaching talent, and so we're excited. I think we found our location, all this stuff. So hopefully next year, when COVID's in check, we can make a movie.
So this is going to be like, are you doing a pilot for this? Because I thought it was going to be a series. And then are you now making it kind of more of like a featurette? Like,
yeah. So like any project, it's gone through a lot of different cycles. And it started out where my friend Tim, who Kristen acted in many scenes, and even in here, I still remember it was brilliant.
I like you.
Yeah, that was great. And Tim started out with this idea. He wrote a short that we shot, and then Tim and I together, I taught him how to write television structure, because I'd taken a bunch of classes at UCLA Extension, and we wrote the pilot. We tried to shop it around, didn't really go anywhere. So then I teamed up with my buddy Wes, and we wrote the feature, and it went through a million rewrites. But it's finally in really good shape, and I'm proud to say it's in the quarter finalist for final draft. It's the big break contest, and hopefully we'll make it to the finals. We'll see.
That's really exciting. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's going to be in production. So that's right now in just post, and then, or I'm sorry, pre-production.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
then, so also when you're doing all this, you're also trying to teach and DJ and act on your own.
Yeah, I do it all. Yeah, I mean, the acting classes, I was going to do a Zoom thing, but I've kind of put that on hold. I do coach online, which is great for, people that have self-tape auditions. And obviously my DJ company is great for virtual events. I actually started a company called govirtualwedding.com, and my partner Ernie Mondeka, he runs a an amazing site called it's a virtual space called Social Sanctuary. So I've done a few events with him there, and we recently did a big corporate event for Sotheby's Realty International, which was fun. So I got to DJ there and warm up the crowd.
How'd you
Yeah.
even get into DJing? I don't think I've ever asked you
Oh my
how
gosh.
that you fell into that. Seems
Well,
like just kind of like a fun thing to do, but then you've made it so successful. So
yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I started out as an MC, and I worked on different cruise lines. So I was on Princess Cruises and Holland America, and I brought out Disney Cruise Line. And I just honed my MC skills. And then, like 18 years ago, whatever it was, when I moved to LA, my buddies were working for a DJ company that was called You Should Be Dancing, established in
I mean,
19
everyone should be dancing, let's be honest. You
everybody should be
know?
dancing, right? Yeah, so
What, Whitney Houston? Sorry.
so I started training with those guys, and did the bar mitzvah circuit and all that, and learned how to DJ. So bought myself my own equipment, and then I launched my own company, and I've
That's
been
awesome.
So I feel like you kind of have like the entrepreneur mindset, which is definitely like the people that we're hitting with the show. So with the DJ thing, obviously that's normally a big crowd. So you switched it to virtual. How are you doing transitioning in these crazy times to going from like big events and film sets to your house?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's, it's been a big transition. Like, I've done a couple birthday parties, I've done some school dances from my living room. Like, I have a giant LED screen or whatever, LCD screen, and so I plug in Zoom, and then I put the pictures of the people at the party behind me, and it's really
Oh
fun.
my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I interact with them. I actually have an event, this Sunday, that I'm doing with a friend. Actually, you should interview him. He's really cool. His name is Christoph Brown, and he's the amazing Etch a Man, and he's the world's fastest Etch-a-Sketch artist. So yeah,
That'd
and
be so cool.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
no, he would. Oh, and then he could do the two of you guys. It would be
That would
great.
be so fun. No, we should
Well,
do the whole thing and then be like
Oh
the
my
Zoom
gosh.
action
Yeah.
sketch.
yeah, no, I'll hook you up.
That's so
But he's
funny.
such a great guy, and he's teamed up with me, and we're doing a virtual event this Sunday from 2 to 4, and we're calling it Etcha, what is it called? Etcha Stravaganza or something. It's like extravaganza.
I like it.
Um,
I like
and,
it.
yeah, and he's going to be etching, people at the party in real time. I'm going to be DJing. We're going to be playing games and dance contests, and more of a family event.
Yeah.
Oh, and then half the proceeds are going to go to a charity that I'm a big advocate for, called the Laurel Foundation, and it's a charity that provides a summer camp for kids that have AIDS. So it's really kind of
Wow.
cool. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, and they buy them Christmas gifts and stuff like that. So
That's so cool. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So
Cool. So
through this crazy journey of all of your twists and turns and everything that you do,
Yeah.
what would you say like are kind of the top things that you've learned?
I would say probably the most important thing is be patient, because I think early on I was so impatient, but at the same time, I think that's why I was successful, at some things. So I would say be resilient, but also find some space to be patient, or you'll go crazy. Because you have to, I mean, as Kristen knows, like, being in Los Angeles, attempting to be an actor or an actress, it's insane. There's so many people out here that want to do it. So I think no matter what you want to do in the entertainment industry, you just have to keep honing your craft, keep learning, keep meeting people, because a lot of this industry is about networking, and the people that typically give you your first break or your jobs are people that know you on a personal level. So I would say, for me, in anything I do, like be it DJing, acting, writing, it's all about honing your craft and being patient and realizing that when the opportunity is right, you will get your opportunity. So, and be ready for it too, because there's
Yeah.
nothing worse than, and that's happened to me a couple times in my life where I feel like I've gotten a great opportunity, but I wasn't ready for it, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like you, personally, like knowing you, you are really good at connection, like connecting with people.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, thank
and
you.
that's something that I feel like is really important when you're acting, or if you're an entrepreneur generally, is not being afraid to reach out and to be like, hey, like let's work together, like what do we can do, I think that that's just, you're really good at that, and you've taught me that, and I think that's really important.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to be. You have to be a little daring. Even if, sometimes you do something, and in retrospect you're like, I guess I reached a little too far, or maybe I wasn't like I mean, I remember years ago I did a pilot for I wrote a pilot that I recently updated called Subs, and it was about my life as a substitute teacher, which I did on and off for LAUSD for years. And it was the first thing I had written, and I went like full out. I staged a like a pilot reading in my home that I was renting with some friends, and I invited my friend Andy Wyman, who directed like episodes of major shows like there was this show called Coupling that was huge in England, and they tried to bring it to America, and it was like a big thing. He directed that and a bunch of sitcoms, and I had a bunch of writers come. Anyway, like 50 people, like I had folding chairs and everything, and it did not get a lot of laughs. And I was very yeah, and I bought all this food and pizzas because I thought people were gonna like, stay and we'll have a conversation. What can we fix and all that? And everybody just kind of left, and it was really, yeah, it was a little disheartening. But you have to fall sometimes to succeed. So
You put yourself out there, and that's really hard to do sometimes. It's very hard to do. So, honestly, like most people would say, especially on our show, I feel like it's like some of those fails, they don't technically regret. They're just like, hey, I tried. So I think that's really good. It's still a good story. Yeah, there you
yeah,
go.
you do it once and you learn. You're like, okay, maybe maybe this, because it's really, man, I would say if anybody wants to be a writer out there, get in a good writers group. Like there's in Los Angeles, and actually Kristen was a reader for our group last week for
Yeah, it
something
was a
I'd
lot of
written.
fun, actually.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you were great.
Thanks.
And but the group's called the Deadline Junkies, so it's deadlinejunkies.com, and we right now I think we have like five or six nights where 15 writers assemble, and they share their pages, and then we get actors to read the material. And constantly, I've been in the group 3 years, so when you get that feedback, negative or positive, you really learn what's good, what isn't, what's a hit, what's ready to take outside of the group and enter into a contest, or do a public reading. So
Yeah.
now I have a much better radar of what's working and what's not.
Yeah. So do you feel like, I mean, obviously I feel like the screenplays and especially Hunter Grail is something that you're really working on. But do you feel like with the DJ company and also your teaching and everything, or what do you see for the next 5 years, or what do you feel like is in the future for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. For me personally, I really want to be creative. I really want to focus on acting. Hopefully COVID will be over soon, although things, as are back into production, just
Yeah.
with a lot of protocol. But I really want to focus on my acting and my writing, and figuring out who I need to get to know to get these projects I just shared with you on my wall into production. So that's going to be my main goal. I really I love acting and I love writing, and finding the right people to get things into play. I love DJing, but I've been doing it a long time, and I'm not in my 20s anymore, so I don't anticipate being at the next rave in 5 years.
I mean, I think you can, Bryan. I
Hey,
mean,
sure.
still young. Age
I'm,
is just a number. You can
it is
still...
it is that's for sure. But yeah, I would like to transition more into acting and writing, producing full time, and a little less DJing would be nice, I guess.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
what advice do you have for people? I mean, I know you gave a little bit earlier about being patient and all of that,
Yeah.
but like, if somebody is multi-passionate and has all this stuff that they want to do, what kind of advice do you have for them?
Wow, I would say be curious and read a lot. Read. Like I right now I'm really into what's her name, Brene Brown. I don't know.
Yeah, she's so
Wow,
good.
she's so good. And and keep yourself stimulated and positive no matter what you're doing. It doesn't even matter if you're in the entertainment industry. Whatever you're doing, you constantly need to feed your soul. So I listen to a lot of podcasts like Oprah. Brene is great. And then she introduced me into a podcast. I can't think of her name right now, but man, she's an amazing woman. Before it's over, I'll see if I can find it, because I just started following her on Instagram. But I want to read her book because she is a teacher, I believe, at Harvard. I think she got her doctorate at Yale, and she teaches something to do with creativity. And I'm so in sync with her, because she says that you have to really study and practice for the long haul, for the journey, and think of yourself as becoming a master and not just the short-term success. And in my acting class, I always try to get my students to think beyond the co-star on 90210 or whatever the current show is, because I think a lot of people in this town, it's really easy just to get by on your looks and your personality, but that's only going to last you for so long. And we see that all the time, that there's a whole new crop of actors that fulfill that need, but the ones that have longevity are the ones that really continue to study, and they're curious about life, about the craft, about learning.
Yeah. And I think it's also like knowing, I'm going to do what Monica says, pivoting. I feel like it's a pivot of like, okay, well, now I know I'm not in my 20s anymore, or I'm not in my 30s or whatever. And it's like, now I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to change how I'm thinking of what like I look like, or it's just, I think that's really good advice. And also thinking about, the long haul, like the future. I think of always manifestation in a sense, you're trying to think specifics of what is going to happen and what's going to come, instead of just like, okay, I mean, I made it here, I'm done. It's like, nope, you still have a lot more to go. So that's good.
Yeah, it's true. And having, like, I can't remember the word that she used, but like kind of like outlandish goals, like how, Kristen, we used to do, like, give me 3 goals that you could actually pursue in the next 2 weeks and accomplish, because you need bars that you're measuring your success by. So having 3 short-term goals, and then what's the big goal, like, I want to be on a film set with Meryl Streep, or like looking at Tim, he wanted to like star in his own feature, and it's actually happening. Like it's taken some time, and I know your show is called about stumbling ahead
forward.
stumbling forward. I mean, I think you were there, Kristen, when we literally were putting out fires.
I was there during the goal session when Tim was like, oh yeah, I have this idea, and I was like, oh cool, a great idea. Keep going. You know, like
Keep going. Yeah,
you go with
exactly.
that.
Yeah,
And that
exactly.
was like, my gosh, 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
takes some time, but you know, you guys have been
Yeah,
patient and you've been working really hard, and that's awesome. You know, I'm
yeah.
really proud of both of you for being able
Thank
to do
you.
that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes things don't transpire in the time frame I think that you want them to be, you know, and it's really hard. You just have to believe in the project enough to wake up every day and say, okay, what can I do to accomplish this, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So where can everybody find you? All the stuff that you got going on.
Oh, cool. Wow. Well, I mean,
Everything. He's like,
44
can
websites.
I just make a list some other
no.
time? Like,
Well, if you want me to, they're pretty easy. I mean, if you want me
yeah.
to DJ, it's letspartyla.com, so that's pretty easy. My acting is my name, bryanchesters.com. Yeah, and then writing, I guess just look for my
The
name.
title. It should be on your hopefully on your actors
Yeah.
page. Bryan
Yeah,
Chesters, maybe.
yeah, yeah. And my teaching and coaching is actorstheaterlosangeles.com.
Mhm. Cool. Well, we're going to link to all that too. So if you think of other websites, let us know. We'll put that in below so everyone can check that out
Cool.
and keep up to date with all the cool stuff you got going on.
Awesome.
So thank you. I feel like this
Yeah.
time flew by, but you
It
were
did
such a
fly
great
Yeah.
guest. So much going
No,
on, which is super exciting.
yeah. Thank you. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Well, for everybody listening, be sure to head over, give us 5 stars, leave us a review, all of that good stuff. If you want to check out the video, stay tuned. That'll be coming out on YouTube. And yeah, I'm one of your hosts, Monica Ortega.
And I'm Kristen Herman.
And we will see you guys next time. Thanks again, Bryan.
Thank you.